Sandy with Calvert Library, and welcome to another edition of It's Elementary. So today I'd like to share with you a wonderful book that's called Follow the Moon Home. Can you tell what this book is going to be about? Do you see those animals there? What's right there? Oh, little turtles, aren't they? In fact, the subtitle of this book is A Tale of One Idea, 20 Kids, and 100 Sea Turtles. I hope that you're going to enjoy it. This book was written by Philippe Cousteau and Deborah Hopkinson and was illustrated by Meilo So. And we'd like to thank the publisher, Chronicle Books, for allowing us to share it with you today. So let's take a closer look. Follow the Moon Home. I always need help finding my way, especially in a new place. Before long, you'll feel right at home, Viv. I wasn't so sure. Welcome, Vivian, called Mr. J. You're just in time for the fun. We're looking for a problem to solve. I got out my pencil and I bit my lip. I rode my bike all over town looking for a problem. Mostly, I just got lost. On Saturday, I took Samson and Luna for a run on the beach. Mostly they just pulled me. Let's make a gigantic hole, I gasped, plopping down. My big digger and my little digger sprang into action. Suddenly, it was raining sand. Looks like fun, but be sure to fill in that hole, said a man walking by. It's nesting season. I smoothed out the sand and we all went to look. What do holes have to do with turtles? It's because of the babies, said a voice. I whirled to see a girl from my school. I'm Clementine, she reminded me. Baby sea turtles need a clear path to the sea. Holes and sandcastles get in their way. I didn't know we had sea turtles here. Samson pulled on the leash. We do. Oh, and look what happened to this baby, cried Clementine. Why were you going the wrong way, little one? Mr. J had told us to use our own eyes, so that night Mom and I went back to the beach. As darkness fell, we could see bright lights winking on, one by one, along the shore. That's it, I said. The lights in the beach houses are the problem. Why is that? Mom asked. When baby turtles hatch, they follow the strongest light they see, I explained. So if they head away from the sea, they get dehydrated and die. My heart sank as I stared at the houses. There are so many. How can we ask all these people to turn off their lights? Most of these houses are vacation rentals, Mom said. That means new people come to stay every few days. We'd have to knock on doors every night. Clearly, I needed help to solve this problem, and I knew just how to get it. On Monday morning, Clementine and I raised our hands first. We told the class what we'd learned and observed about loggerhead sea turtles. The sea turtle eggs are starting to hatch, I went on. To save the hatchlings, we need the whole class, the whole town, to help. And that's how Lights Out for Loggerheads began. Our classroom became the Loggerhead Lab. First, we gathered lots of information. We read books, we visited an aquarium and a sea turtle hospital. We asked someone from the South Carolina Marine Turtle Conservation Program to speak to our class. We all brainstormed solutions, choosing the best ideas. Then we got to work. We made posters and delivered them all over town. We wrote fact sheets for all the vacation beach houses. To pay for printing our flyers and posters, we held a bake sale. Andy, the coffee shop man, donated a whole pan of his famous granola. Happy to help. The editor promised to put my article in the community newspaper. Nice to have a new writer in town, she said. The printer gave us a discount for the loggerheads. Rebecca and Max learned how to spread the word on the internet. Mr. J helped us write a press release. I was on TV as the class spokesperson. We invited volunteers from SCOOT, South Carolina United Turtle Enthusiasts, to a town meeting. When the big night arrived, the room was packed. The room buzzed with ideas. We talked about how to make our beach a great place for turtles, how to mark nests, run nightly patrols, what to do if hatchlings get in trouble. At the end, we decided to form our own volunteer group. People cheered for our class. Mr. J beamed. I'm proud of you all. It was the best night ever. Until... On the last evening of summer school, we went on a turtle patrol. Lots of parents came too. Everyone smiled as we watched the lights along the beach go out, one by one. We had done it. Suddenly, a movement on the sand caught my eye. Over here, I whispered. We crept closer, careful to stay quiet. A crescent moon shone over the waves. The sea glittered like silver. I made out the first one, then two hatchlings. Soon the sand seemed to boil over with life. Tiny turtles, no more than 2 inches long, burst from the nest. We watched, barely daring to breathe. Would they know where to go? Then they were off, scurrying over the sand and into the shimmering sea. We stood together, smiling and silent with wonder. Then, just like the turtles, we followed the moon home. The end. One of the things that I like so much about this book is how much information there is in the back of it. Lots of things about what young scientists can do. Also, things that you can do to learn more about sea turtles and how you can help them. You know, there are so many things out there in the world that need help right now. Maybe there's something that you care about. Maybe there's a problem that's happening in your neighborhood, like the kids in this book. Or maybe somebody near you is in trouble or is having a problem or it needs some help with something. You know, there's so many things that you can do to help. What did our friends in the book do? Do you remember? So first they had to research the problem, right? If they had something that they wanted to solve, they had to figure out what needed to be solved, right? They had to do their research. And then what did they do? What did they do to make some changes in their world? So I remember them raising some money. They had a bake sale, didn't they? I remember them writing letters. That's something that you can do. They put up a website. There's lots of people that get their information online. You could make videos about what you're doing. You can make posters. You can make flyers. You can talk to people. You can do interviews on television. There are so many things that you can do to get involved with issues that you care about. So I hope that you have something that you'd like to help solve, and that you do something about it. Let's all get involved. If we all get involved, then we can solve all the problems that are going on in our world right now. So I would like to make a little project today, a little something that's going to help us remember our little sea turtle friends. So do you remember how the sea turtles found their way to the ocean after they were hatched? Do you remember? It's right in the title of our book, isn't it? Follow the moon home, right? So I thought we'd make a little moon craft today. So we're going to move over to the table here and get our supplies together and make our moon craft. So come on over. Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to make a little moon project. It's going to give you a beautiful glowing moon, perfect for our little sea turtle friends to find their way to the ocean. So let me show you what you're going to need for your project. First, you're going to need a piece of black paper. This is just some regular construction paper. Then you're going to need a piece of white paper. This is computer paper, but really any kind of white paper you have at the house will do. Then you're going to need a pencil, and you're going to need some scissors. Be very careful with the scissors. Get a grown-up's help if you need to. And you're going to need something to trace around. I'm going to make a nice big full moon today, so I've got this plate. This is going to make my shape of the moon. Now, if you'd rather, you can find something that is half a circle. So if you want to make a half moon, Or you could even find a crescent shape if you wanted to make a crescent moon. But I'm going to make a nice big full moon today. Now, the last thing we're going to need, and this maybe is the most important part, we're going to need some masking tape. Other tape will not work well for this one. It's got to be masking tape. And little tape, thin tape like this works the best, but it doesn't matter too much because we're going to tear it up a bunch. So really any kind of masking tape will do. Okay, so to get started, you want to take the black piece of paper and make your moon shape on it. So I am going to use my plate to trace. Like I said, whatever you have around the house and however big you want to make your moon. So I put that right in the middle. I'm just going to trace around with my pencil like this, all the way around. And then you're going to cut out this shape. Well, I find when you want to cut something round like this, the easiest way is to cut in the middle first, fold it in half a little bit, and then you've got a nice big spot to put your scissors in. And then you can go to the outside and work your way all the way around to cut your nice big moon shape. So once it's going to cut out, you're going to end up with something that looks like this. So there's my moon right there in the middle, okay? So now we're going to set this aside for right now. We're done with that for now. Now we need to make the face of the moon. Now what does the moon look like on the top? When you see it, even from Earth sometimes, you can see that there are lots and lots of craters on the moon, right? It looks like a very, very rough surface. And so that's what we're going to make our moon to look like. And to do that, we're going to use our masking tape. So all you have to do, it's a very simple project, although it will take you a little while. All you need to do is take that masking tape, you gotta figure out where it starts. There it goes, it starts right there. And you're going to start putting small pieces of masking tape on your white paper in the shape of the moon that you made in the other paper. So I made a nice round shape, so that's what I need to do, is fill in this whole section with little pieces of tape. And that's the key, little pieces of tape. You want to tear them into little sizes like that and just start putting them on the paper. And you want them to overlap a little bit. You want them to be lots of overlapping because those overlapping things are going to be what gives us the texture on the moon. It's going to make it look like craters up there on the moon. So this is the part that's going to take you a little while because you want to do nice small pieces and you're just going to keep putting them over top of each other like that. So you can see how far I've gotten so far. And you can see how far I need to get because you want to fill in that whole section with masking tape. You want the whole circle to be filled in with masking tape. So keep going. Just take your time. Put lots of masking tape over top of each other. You don't want big old pieces of masking tape like this across the whole thing. You really want them to be small pieces. So as you do that, you're going to keep getting these, like I said, these overlapping spots. And you can see it kind of start to come out as we're doing it, that it's going to look like a texture, right? It's going to look like, because the masking tape is kind of see-through, but not really, it's going to give you these spots that are darker and spots that are lighter. And when you do that, you're going to end up with something that looks like the craters of the moon. So if I keep doing this, eventually I will get something that looks like this. So you can see I filled my whole circle in with those pieces of masking tape. Now to put it together, you're just going to tape the white sheet into the black sheet and make sure that all of those spots are filled in. So it looks kind of cool already, I think, but it looks really cool when you put some light behind it. You can hang this on a lamp or you can just put it in front of a light. Let me show you. I'm going to turn on, I've got like just a little light over here. There's this little tiny light over here. But if I put this in front of my light, I'm going to get it in the right spot here. So when I put my moon in front of the light, look at how it glows. And you can see all of those little craters that we made with the masking tape. And that's what's so cool about this project. This one looks great if you put it hanging off of the outside of a light. But anytime you hold it up to the light, you're going to get this beautiful glow. And that will remind you of all of those little sea turtles that are finding their way to the ocean using the light of the moon. Thank you so much for joining us today for It's Elementary. I hope that you enjoyed our story. I hope that you will go and learn more about sea turtles or whatever it is that you're concerned about. And I hope that you'll make a beautiful moon craft to remember it by. Stay tuned to Calvert Library's social media feeds for lots more programs for kids of all ages. Thank you so much. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.